Fire it up. Let's get it going. Man, what's the with you guys? What the hell's
We're not even on screen yet.
Yeah, what are you?
Oh, have we never
There's
been
a
excited
rhythm
when
to
the
this.
show goes, what's up, everybody? Welcome to
Let's
go.
Oh my God, the one
Presented
guy.
as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. We are in the Hangover Lounge. Actually, what is it? A hangover? Still drunk lounge?
Yeah, still drunk.
Still vibing lounge?
No,
I'm not
it was-
hungover at all.
You're at that point where you're drunk, but you can tell it's fading, and you're just like,
Yeah,
fuck,
dude, we're
the
like-
next couple hours are
It's
gonna
like
suck.
6 o'clock after a day drunk.
Yeah, and you're like,
Oh, I hate that,
You need a
actually.
nap.
Exactly.
Nap time.
Wait, you hate that? Are your vibes down low?
No, they're not down low. It's just we put a lot into yesterday. We
Yeah,
put a
that's
lot
true.
of our
It was a long one.
put all of our
It was like I
emotions.
put my best defensive effort of
Yeah,
the
dude, like-
year out
Oh,
last
God,
night.
is this the Nuggets on Friday? Is this what we're going to get?
Dude, my tiny little brain like excreted all of the little,
Yeah.
you know. the-
That's a marathon, man. Pre-game, watch along, post-game,
Oh, my
especially when
God.
it's a vibe show like it was yesterday.
Man,
Which it was indeed.
I'm drained personally.
Guys, are the Nuggets back? Forget the Jamal Beckham meter. Are the Nuggets back?
Can I answer that? Yes.
Make a new graphic.
Just make a new graphic. The Nuggets are back meter. We got a lot of fun stuff. We're going to get to a mailbag later on. We're going to hotbox and hot takes it a little bit. Oh, yeah. You know we love doing that one. And then, obviously, I want to talk a little bit more about the show. Take you guys behind some details from the arena last night that I thought were pretty cool that wouldn't have fit onto the show. And to help me do that, wearing his snow boots, it's Brennan Vogt.
Hiking boots, actually.
Those are
Left the
hiking
snow
boots?
at home. Yeah.
Are you hiking later?
I was
today?
just gonna say, how is that better?
Made the cardinal mistake of acknowledging something I'm wearing on the show.
Yeah, never do that.
That's my bad. Yeah.
You fool. Over here, I got Harrison.
Man, what a night last night. Like I said, I'm drained physically, emotionally, mentally, but I'll try to pull it together for this show.
Oof, what a heroic effort
Yeah.
for you. And then over here, I got D-Line Co.
It's right, guys. Last night was the hardest night of my life.
Hang on.
I was with you in Belgrade.
That's true. We've seen there was no mud.
That says you. You weren't with me on that.
That's true. I wasn't.
I
with
was
you.
there though.
I gotta say, you guys know this. When there's a real vibey winners lounge and you're off that day, it could be a bummer.
Yep.
I was actually very excited to be at the arena last night because I felt like last night was a very good sort of like. I was there Monday. You know, whatever. Yoke plays incredible. But that's like
Yeah,
you know-
whatever. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying. But that doesn't tell you the team. You know
Whatever.
What I mean?
40,
Last-
27,
Last
whatever.
night to me felt like a good. Just watching the court where every little thing that's happening, there was a lot of stuff that was happening, and it just felt like a good sort of like temperature taker for the
Nice.
Nuggets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to me, last night, Monday's night game, not so much, but last night to me felt very much like that. Also, I didn't have to listen to Stan Van Gundy, one of my least favorites.
That was actually what I was saying was one of the biggest benefits of watching the watch along.
Yeah.
You didn't have to listen to Stan Van Gundy.
I know.
Which is crazy because he's a pro Jokić guy. And even we're like,
Dude, it's
Yeah, but he's such a bad commentator that it just
he would
cancels that out.
never acknowledge the stroking uncle. Not one time, dude.
yeah, I don't know if that's in the flaw category.
I don't know if that one's quite fully there.
Yeah.
No, honestly, a perfect night to be doing the watch long for that reason. And you're right, he is a Jokić guy, but his compliments still come out as like complaints. You know, like he
Might be the
has-
best passing big man in the NBA.
Yeah, exactly. He had that one last night, and it's like you got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. Jokić. Here's the thing I want to start with, though. There's a lot of little things. And I mentioned this briefly in the postgame when I was on, but I want to kind of extrapolate on it. I thought Jokic's leadership last night popped more than any game I can remember.
That's awesome.
And maybe it's because Murray, isn't there. He knows he kind of has to pick up the slack. He's got a lot of guys that are, Zeke is playing and Christian Brown's playing, and he knows, the guys are kind of looking to him. But there was just a lot of times last night where I felt like he pulled the team in. Like, hey, everybody come
That's
here.
great, man.
And in particular, and I think I'm going to do a video on this later today when I get some time to actually go back and cut some tape. 7 minutes left in the game. 7 minutes left in the game. Nuggets are up 13 points. Aaron Gordon's going to the foul line. It's like 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And Jokić pulls everybody in at the free throw line. I've never seen this before. Have you seen this before? He's pointed things out.
I
but
can't
like
remember
huddle up.
any big
Like they're at
instance like
Duke.
that.
Like they're at Duke or something, you know?
Sure.
And he pulls everybody in, and he's like with his hand kind of doing what he does at half court, you know, half the time. And he's kind of doing this, and he's just doing this thing like that.
He's drawing the play up on his hand like you're playing football
Guys,
in the backyard.
Sandlot football.
Yeah.
only like you're playing like a group of uncles playing against their nephews. Like
Yeah.
he's like, guys, and I'm telling you, every play after that featured Jokić throwing blind passes because he was like, guys, this is how easy this is going to be for us to close out this game. I'm just going to go over here, pass it to me. You do this, you do that, you do that. And I'm just going to spin around and read whoever's open and throw it to you. And the end of that game was a masterpiece. I mean, the whole game was a masterpiece by Jokić, but it was a masterpiece in just setting the table and getting exactly. Memphis actually had shut Denver down. They guarded them very, very well in the middle portion of that game.
Yes.
End of that game, Denver just picked what they wanted.
Yeah. that was my biggest criticism of him in that Laker game. It was just that the defense sucked. It didn't look like he cared. The Nuggets' body language was terrible throughout that entire second half. Jokić wasn't showing any of the leadership skills that we wanted him to show this season. And like the whole team just folded. And they were soft because I felt like their leader, Nikola Jokić, was soft that game against the Lakers. But last night, I mean, the stuff you're saying, that's exactly what we need for him, especially in those critical moments. Like, he's got to be the guy because it's not going to be Jamal Murray right now. We want it to be Jamal Murray. We came into the season hoping it'd be Jamal Murray. It's not going to be Jamal right now at this point in the season. Maybe later in the year, maybe in the playoffs, we'll see. It's got to be Nikola Jokić just being that dude right now, bringing everybody together, inspiring confidence in his guys. That was huge last night. And I mean, just he took over the end of that game, I guess, with his play on the court, but also just as, you know, the leader. That's awesome to see.
And Eric, you know, sometimes you can tell Jokić has the like calmness, and you're kind of nervous. I wasn't nervous at the end of the game because I just could see Jokić was like, I know exactly what to do.
No, we got a full attitudinal shift from Nikola Jokić. He is locked in, man. He has emerged from his Jokić cocoon, and he has come back to us. He has returned as has been promised, and you know, every time that he gets locked in now, each year is a higher scale than the year before. Like, he is better right now, seemingly, than he has been, or at least on par with his 2 back-to-back MVP seasons. Like, he's been incredible, and he's doing absolute. I just love that he's doing it in different ways each night. You know, it's like he's either completely taking the game over offensively, telling people to get out of the way, just doing it, or he's orchestrating, or he's, you know, just. I mean, we said that stretch that he created against the Grizzlies last night was one of the most demoralizing stretches of basketball I can imagine having happened to you. That between the legs pass that goes into another over the head pass, goes into a steal, goes into Jokić splashing a 3, and it's like, this guy. What are you supposed to do? He's inevitable. It's like you can't get away once he gets rolling.
And even before the numbers were there, the urgency was. And like Wind was saying, everyone responded to the tone that he set. Now, there are a lot of factors in this: who started, who played. But I honestly think it's more than just, oh, they plugged their defenders in and now they're ready to go. I think Jokić treated that game, like if you're a role player on that team and you're watching Jokić play that game, you're thinking, all right, I am not dropping the ball tonight. You know what I mean? Maybe I miss a shot, but I'm going to be in the right spot. I'm going to defend my ass off. He's ready to go. He's going to win this game for us if we don't mess it up. And so I just felt like there was a whole, even starting from the suit and the hallway walk, right? Like Jokić came to win that game last night in a way that we have in the past criticized him for not doing the same way the very best players do.
We got to hand it to Eric, because I do think there's a new word we have to enter into the Denver Nuggets lexicon.
Stroke it, uncle?
Stroke it? No, not that one.
Please not that one.
AJ. I'm dead serious. Like, this is the dumbest thing that's actually also real.
It's true. What do we like? What? Every year we're going to start off next year. We're going to be like, man,
what's wrong with Jokić?
What's wrong with Jokić?
It's just BJ.
It's just BJ.
He's just in the BJ phase.
Yes, and he's not engaged. And then once the strike of midnight on Jokić happens, It's like the mice all come to life. It's the Nutcracker Suite. Like it's midnight in the house, midnight in Ball Arena, and it's go time.
The other story from this one, other than Yoke's greatness, we could do every night. Did he win draft? He won King of the Game,
We
right?
actually
No.
gave it to AG.
Oh, AG to AG.
We put
My
it out for-
vote was for Jokic, though. I was outnumbered
Man,
by these guys and
I-
by the people on Twitter.
I think you guys were both wrong. To me,
I
I
said
thought this
Christian
was
Brown.
so clearly the night we all went to Browntown.
We put that one out there as well.
I can't believe the fans
That's what I
didn't
said.
say this, man. I'm
Did you
telling
guys see
you.
what happened to the poll overnight?
What, did it go to
Hey, wait,
Browntown?
Jokic
No, it swung
went
Jokic. By
every-
Oh,
Because-
when
Yeah.
Serbia woke up? Yeah,
Oh,
of
that's
course.
why.
That's,
I think it's because Christian Brown didn't close the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
and I
that's part of
understand it. And like again,
But
if we're
yeah.
doing the who is the best player, of course
But this
Christian
was
Brown was.
this was his coming out party.
This was a coming out party. He's in the rotation forever now.
I freaking hope so.
In all seriousness, though, it did feel like in a lot of ways a real watershed moment. I mean, he's had some big games.
Yep.
But this was one that to me highlighted the upside he brings to this team.
Yes.
Which is crazy because last night his defense on Ja Morant was sensational.
Yes,
it Yeah.
Blocking his shot. There were moments in the game where it was like, oh man, here they go. Ja's going to make his move. And he came up big in those moments. Not
Yes.
just him, Bruce Brown, other guys. But to me, I was shocked that anybody that watched that game wouldn't have made Christian Brown the king of the game just because of what I felt like it meant, the impact that he made.
Yeah. It's funny. I asked Christian Brown like a week ago how much film he watches because I would have to think this kid watches an incredible amount of film because it seems like he knows what every matchup that he has is going to do on every play, despite never playing against these guys before. And he actually said, I don't watch as much film as you think I would watch.
Right.
And that just leads me to believe he has ridiculous, just natural defensive instincts.
Yeah.
He just has a feel for the game on the defensive end of the floor that's special. And Nuggets have something real with him. He's a real player, man. He is going to be an elite defender for a long time. And just, if the Nuggets want him to be, just a huge fixture on this team for a long time. And he's exactly the type of guy you want on a contender around Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
He just is.
Yeah, he really had shades of Caruso last night. Like
yeah.
a guy that you can just absolutely put.
Don't
in
even
that
have to
can
trade
make
for him.
Don't have to trade for him. We've got Caruso at home. But the thing is the thing that I thought was also so amazing is that it wasn't just that defensive effort.
Yes,
it
you
was
said this last
a
night.
complete game from him. He was effective offensively. He knocked down open shots that if you are just a defender and then you are not, the other team doesn't have to guard you, you're actually hurt the offense more than you help the defense. So he was slashing to the rim. I mean, he just did all of the things that you're like, okay, perfect. Like, this is perfect. This is the guy that doesn't need the ball, but can, when the ball comes to him, he is in the right position. He'll make the right play. To this point, we haven't seen him like really play out of character to try and get his shot or anything like that. But we have, his shot's been a little shaky to this point. But last night it was like, man, if you can put this all together, like that's a starter. That's an NBA starter.
The threes, I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Guys in the NBA today have just become good three-point shooters. I really do think they work on it smarter and more than ever before. Yeah. So there's a chance he does just become a good three-point shooter. But even without that, I actually trust the drives. And he had some good passes last night, too. It wasn't just, did he knock down shots? Kept the ball moving in the way that the offense didn't necessarily stagnate that I thought was so impressive. But
he's got such a simple offensive game, too. And as a rookie in his position on a team like this, he should. But he's either shooting the three or he's driving to the rim and looking for a dish off.
As quick as he can.
Yeah.
Love that.
He's got that 0.5 mentality
But
we wanted Juancho to have forever.
Strong agree, Win. And I thought last night, to Eric's point, even with the 3-point shooting, it's not. Uh-oh. Are we live at least?
What happened here? Oh, hey, we're going to Kai Jones. What do we have here?
He's the newest entrant into the Bad Hair Hall of Fame.
We're back. Kai
Whatever.
Jones.
We're all on the same page. He's good. He shot. As long as the shots are decisive and confident, as are the drives, as they were last night, I'll even live with the misses.
Oh, totally.
Of course.
Just be that.
You just need to
decisive.
have the threat of.
Yeah, man.
It actually takes me to what the second unit, like even Zeke last night, I thought was good. Like, he wasn't good basketball-wise. You know what he was good? Hustle.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Christian Brown, Bruce Brown, and Zeke Naji.
Johnny Tryhards out there.
They injected hustle into it. And this is actually my note. We'll go to the next point here, my final point for this first segment, which is another sneaky thing that happened in this game was the Nuggets staggered somebody new.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
KCP.
That Cantankerous Pope.
Cantankerous Pope. He is the guy. Wait, what? No, that's not right. Hold on. They
You gotta
put
reel him
The
in
man
over
has
there.
so many nicknames. It's out of
that's
control.
not one of them. He did the stroking cousin or something. I don't know what we're doing.
The Stroking Pope, dude. Come on.
That's a little too on the nose.
That's a little
That
too.
might stick.
That one's tough.
Wow. Let's just go to commercial. No, staggering him. Here's the thing. How do we solve the second unit? I don't know that there is a solve. A lot of people I know are kind of low on Bones right now because he's missing some shots. There's no offense in that group. Bones represents a lot of that offense. He needs to be better. He needs to kind of have an upswing. I actually thought, and we'll get to this later on, I thought there were some things he did that were sneaky good last night that actually paid dividends. But nonetheless, he needs to be better. But I kind of like the idea of what if you just surrounded Bones with a bunch of tryhards and bunch of defense. And guess what? They were positives last night, not because they outscored everyone, because nobody scored. The second unit
one
just
scored.
completely shut it down, grabbed offensive rebounds, drew fouls, and grinded that game to the grossest halt ever.
Yeah.
And you know what? Bones isn't going to always go 4 of 17. So I kind of like the KCP stagger.
KCP and Zeke, I kind of wrote in the player grades, Zeke's performance itself, kind of like a C+, but the effect it had on the team,
Yeah.
the different looks it gave that unit in the half court on both sides of the ball, they were switchable on one side. It was not that they had a great dynamic offense, but at least there was, I thought, maybe preferable spacing with the 5 out on the other end. But then also the hustle, just how often they were out and running.
Yep. Yep.
And because every time things get to the half court for that second unit, it's like sticky. You're kind of just waiting for a shot where you're crossing your fingers and hoping.
They punched on defense. They
yeah.
didn't just react. They were punching on defense.
punching.
And Zeke,
Yep.
Eric, to me, one of the bigger plays, there's a bunch of plays you could say were the pivotal plays, but one of them undeniably to me was the missed free throw offensive rebound that
Absolutely,
Zeke had.
man.
Threw it back.
Player of the night for him by far, yeah.
But I thought it was one of the plays of the night for the Nuggets.
It was an incredible
Every
play.
time the bench is on the court, it's a razor's edge. You're like, man, they could let go of the rope. Like, it could spiral out of control. Plays like that suck the air out of the building for the Grizzlies.
There was a lot of those hustle rebounds,
So
like
true.
a lot of guys getting balls that they typically we wouldn't even see a Nugget in the frame,
Right.
And they just were they weren't just immediately running back on defense. They were actually staying engaged. I mean, maybe this is a lot of what we were talking about or what you were mentioning the other day, going heavy on the offensive rebound mindset, actually staying engaged on that side until it is assuredly in the other team's hands. But there was just a lot of that, where you're like, oh, God damn it. Oh, cool. Oh, it's still going. And it's dope. It eats up time. Exactly. We
a
bridge
lot of eating up time.
we
last
bridged
night.
that gap to when, being a Nuggets fan is just waiting till Jokić is back on the court.
But Wind, isn't this an identity we think? Is it an offensive identity, a defensive identity? What if it is just an outwork you identity from that group? I actually think it's not going to be a great offensive lineup. It could be a good defensive lineup, but I think it can be a punchy lineup. Just like, God, that sucks to play against Denver's second unit, especially in Denver.
Yeah, I mean, Zeke gives you that for sure.
Last night he did.
Yeah, KCP can give you that. If you have Aaron Gordon out there with the bench, which I think is something maybe they should try a little, he can do that with you. I mean, that's how that bench unit is going to be successful. You get stops, you force turnovers, you run and get easy buckets because it's just tough to score in the half court with that group. That's the formula.
Dude, there were so many dunks last night too.
Yeah.
Athletic. Would you say they looked athletic last night?
I would say
They looked quick.
They did. They looked like they
Bouncy.
were fueled up with adaptogens.
They were fueled up with that
And
depth.
it
It's
was-
almost a great lead in, but real quick, I just want to say one thing that talking to people at the arena last night, like players and coaches and stuff, one of the things everybody says is, you guys don't realize how athletic Christian Brown is because he hasn't really shown it.
Right.
And that dunk he had in transition, by the way, part of that Jokić run we were talking about, the through the legs, that sequence where Denver went from up 8 to up 15 again.
Yeah.
That dunk he had was an athletic one because he had to sprint and at full speed jump from far and dunk to avoid the defender. And I think that that's a thing with Christian Brown. You just saw a lot of athleticism on the court, and I think that's another thing. It's not just the length; it's also the ability to wear you out physically that you get from him. All right, guys, I'm feeling so high. It was fun to relive that one and kind of go through some of these other points.
Yeah.
Why don't we hotbox on the other side? You guys want to hotbox together?
Roll the windows up.
Roll the windows up, baby. We're hotboxing.
Shut that door, Tiffany.
It is open enrollment time for individual health plans now through January 15th. Denver Health Medical. They offer the Elevate Exchange Plan. It's available on the Connect for Health Marketplace. Great benefits, affordable plan choices. Call them direct, 303-602-4912. Sign up online, denverhealthmedicalplan.org. If you are an individual or a family that's looking for cost-effective, quality health insurance, check these guys out. Maybe you're self-employed. Maybe you don't get insurance through your employer. These are great options for you. Give them a call today. 303-602-4912 or go to denverhealthmedicalplan.org. Open enrollment runs all the way through January 15th, so call them or visit their website before then. Also, shout out to Illegal Pete's.
Hell yeah.
Definitely one of our go-to spots here when we're at the office for lunch.
Dude,
we just need a little pick-me-up before a game.
I'm dreaming of it. I've got a vision of reverse nachos dancing in my head.
You want to go to Illegal Pete's after this show?
I don't think I might go right now. Screw you guys.
Yeah, go for segment 2 and 3. We're teaming up with Illegal Pete's again. They're local legends here in Denver.
Hell yeah.
If you get a $100 gift card or spend $100 on gift cards at Illegal Pete's, you're going to score an extra $25 for free. So look, if you go to Illegal Pete's a lot, or if you go there, I don't know, once a week, twice a week, you're going to spend $100 in a year. So just get that gift card,
Dude,
get $25 for free. It's as easy as that.
Especially if you're fancy like everybody here, you got to get the extras. The green chili with pork in it. Goddamn delicious.
Yeah.
The queso, the potatoes.
Illegal Pete's queso is just so by far and away the best queso you can put on a burrito. It's just not even close. Not even close. They've got a ton of different locations in Colorado and Arizona. 12 of them. They've got happy hour from 3 to 6 p.m. every day as well.
And don't forget about the stir. We never mentioned the stir.
Oh, yeah. We got to bring back the
Yeah,
stir.
you don't have to. You can choose what you want. Not everybody likes the stir.
Everyone likes the stir.
Let's be fair to people that don't like the stir.
Well, if you don't like the stir, don't listen to this podcast.
What? No.
Wow.
Wait a second.
Wow.
Listen to him.
All right. We back?
We're back.
Guys, you know what was a lot of fun? That Nuggets game at Ball Arena last night. You know what might be even more fun?
Uh-oh.
The DNVR takeover that's coming in January.
Oh, baby.
DNVR takeover. Pull that up, super producer Tiffany. I want to see.
Oh.
Oh, no!
I'll get it to him.
It's on the Twitter feed.
All
on the
right,
Twitter
It's on
feed.
the Twitter feed, but we'll send it to you here. January 15th. Right now, you can buy tickets, and we have a great deal. When you're a DNVR diehard, you buy 2 tickets.
Yep.
You get 2 tickets to the game, 2 tickets to the party bus, 2 T-shirts from the DNVR locker,
Wow.
2 beers from Breckenridge Brewery,
Then you get 2 hugs.
2 hugs from D-Line Co., 2 drunk hugs.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll last too long.
It'll last way too long. All of that for $200. Guys, there's only a little bit of time left between now and Christmas. I know what it's like to be a guy.
Sure.
You know? You haven't done any of your Christmas
You
shopping.
hear that, chat? He knows.
4 days away, haven't done Christmas shopping for your buddies.
Oh my
You know, maybe your brother. You're like, what should I do with it? Take him to the Nuggets
what's
game.
fun
Take him to
about
the
this one?
takeover.
It's a last minute gift disguised as a very thoughtful gift.
Oh, so thoughtful.
You know what I mean?
It's also an experience.
That's
It's
right.
an experience gift. It's not
Yeah,
a
dude.
tangible
You know
thing,
what?
other than the shirts, of course.
So check it out. 2 for
And the
2.
beers, but-
2 tickets to the party bus. All of that other stuff. $200. T-shirt, everything. And like I said,
Were we
might-
playing that game?
Orlando Magic. We got
Yeah.
Bull. It's
Oh
it's gonna
my
be, We're gonna
God.
curb stomp him. It's gonna be the best. Bones is going for 50, and then might be coming to the DNVR bar afterwards.
You're going to get a
He
bowl.
should bring
bowl
Gary
cut
Harris
cut.
with him.
Man, you know what?
Not a
I wouldn't
chance.
rule it out.
Not ruling it out.
Yeah.
Not ruling it out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. We'll have to make some contact. All right, guys. Let's hotbox. You guys want to hotbox?
Yeah.
I've been waiting to hotbox.
He's thinking
Spark it up.
flour
Spark it up.
or-
Do we have hotbox and hot takes
Light
ready,
it up.
Kel?
Oh yeah, fire up
All
that
right, we'll
tape
fire
machine.
up the take. It's just not as fun as getting high and making crazy takes, but
Wait, that's what we're doing?
this is what hotbox and hot takes. If you don't remember,
Fire
fire
it
up the take
up.
machine. This is where we give takes that we kind of believe. Maybe we fully believe, but we're trying to disguise them as, I'm just riding a little too high on Nuggets right now. Last night, you guys touched on this at the very end. end of the show, but I want to circle back. Jokić after the game talking about Charles Barkley threw him a softball saying like, "Hey man, wore a suit, huh? Look pretty crazy.
Looking
And
good."
basically that's the media version of say something funny to this. And
What about the crowd tonight?
Yeah, what about the yeah, exactly. Your favorite one.
It's so good. Yes, you are our 6th player. Thank you.
Yeah, you are a 6th player out there, yeah. No, this one
So
was
good.
such a softball. Suit game looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And Yoke's like, you know what?
Let's take it there.
Let's take it a little serious here. You know what, guys? Actually, to me, it means something. It's my way of focusing and saying I'm showing up to work and it's serious. I loved it. Charles Barkley and Shaq loved it even more. Kenny the Jet Smith. Those guys were like, they were so smitten with Jokić last night. By the way, those guys are very fickle. Jokić plays bad later in the year. They're going to hate him.
Oh, for sure.
And even at halftime, Jokić kind of clowning, or Shaq clowning on Jokić a little bit. So
What did he say? I didn't even know.
Probably like, get on the block,
he said
big fella.
he said there's no way. He said that he could guard Jokić, but Jokić couldn't guard
Oh,
him.
yeah, it'd be Serbian lasagna.
Slavic.
He
actually.
could guard
Slavic
Jokić.
lasagna.
Yeah, bro.
I
Okay.
know. Well, that's what Charles Barkley told him. He's like, you couldn't guard him. He's like, in the post I could. And he's like, but he wouldn't post you up. He's like, but in the post he couldn't score on me. Which, one, not true. Two, what's the point, Shaq?
In the post with no dribbles, 1-on-1, where you
Yeah.
have to shoot a hook
Doesn't
shot.
matter. At
and
the end,
guard
hey,
you.
know
Shaq
what?
could guard him for 1 half, and then it would be barbecue chicken. The same way
Not
we
even.
saw him do
He
to
could guard him
Draymond
for
Green.
1 7-minute stint.
Same way we would see every ultra athletic center. It's Gobert. It would be Gobert, where it's like, oh man, brother, I have 45.
And then, after the game,
7.
though, Jokić did give Shaq some props. He was asked something about, did you want to be the greatest center? And he's like, well, I know I couldn't be that. You exist or something
Yeah,
like that.
he
So gave
loves
him props.
Shaq.
And so then, if Shaq is the easiest, Shaq hears that. and he's
Butter
like,
him up
You know
one
what? I
time.
love Jokić.
Well,
That's my
I
favorite
love
guy.
you, but I'm going to just I don't know if I'm joking, but I am joking. Talk Russian to you.
Yeah, well, that part I didn't love so much. But I do think that there is an important evolution that has happened to Jokić. I've made the joke before, nobody gets it, about how he's Chance the Gardener from Being There. Nobody's seen that
Still don't
movie.
get it.
Yeah, Hal Ashby, Peter Sellers,
Still
really
don't
good
get
movie. In that he says things that we all think are jokes until later on we realize they're truths.
Sure.
When he said Jamal Murray's going to suck for 20 games, but he was actually being serious. I actually think Jokić, all of the things that he's been saying, he's evolved from the jokester to now he's just a serious, almost not angry, but just hyper motivated guy. And I think it's starting to burst through just how much he's gone away from the joke part of it.
He has made the transition from being a jester
Yeah.
to the supervillain. Joker.
To the super villain.
He's gone from the comedian at the. I mean, if I can equate Jokic's career to the movie Joker, as I typically like to do, he starts off goofy, and then later on he just locks in, and then he's a goddamn killer.
Yeah.
He's a killer.
Literally though, in the
Well,
that
that was
sense,
the
in the
one,
other sense.
and this is the other. Yeah,
when you say locks in, on his murderous tendencies.
But I'm telling you, this Jokić to me this year, I really do think there is a seriousness to him and anger to him. And we've interpreted that sometimes of is he miserable? And I do think there's some of that as well.
I'm sure he is. Every successful person is.
Sure. But I'm saying I think that there really is, with Jokić, man, it's kind of funny how he is every time we're laughing, he kind of looks at us like, guys, I'm not joking.
That one wasn't a joke.
It's not a joke. I'm actually being serious, and I just think it's something pretty cool. So my first hot box and hot takes is being around Joker the last 2 days, being around him. The last 2 days, I'm using that liberally.
Going to the game.
Going to the game. in the locker
Standing
room or
outside
whatever.
Nikola Jokic's residence.
Yeah,
that he
yeah.
doesn't know we're there.
I feel like that's the thing I picked up most from being at the arena these last 2 games is Jokić has an edge to him right now that is kind of delightful to see.
Yeah.
So locked in.
It is, man. I mean, he's just got this mentality. He's had it in some ways ever since he came to the league, but it's especially turned on now where he's like, we're here to win a championship.
Yep.
That's why we're in this league. That's why we're getting paid all this money. That's why we wear a Denver Nuggets jersey. We're supposed to be trying to win a championship.
Yeah.
All this extra shit. What's the point?
Yeah.
We're supposed to show up, practice, then play a game and win. That's the goal. And then win a championship.
Here's my next one for you guys. My next hot box. I think the blueprint for the Nuggets has never been more clear. And I got to say, I really am impressed with Calvin Booth. I mean, honestly, Christian Brown is his guy. Peyton Watson is too, but we always knew that would be a project. Christian Brown, and everything he has said both on the record and just in conversation has been, look, guys, we have to get length, we have to get athleticism, we have to get defense on this roster. And last night is not proof of concept. I've seen some people saying you don't need Murray, you don't need Porter. I think you can go too far on these takes. But I do think there's something too, like, look at how good they are when you just get hyper athletic and hyper long. They closed with Jeff Green last night at small forward, and it crushed.
I was wondering too, because I'm with you. Like, the plans include Murray and Porter. That's who's starting in the playoffs. Forget alternative plans for now. But I'm not a lineup scientist. I am but a small, fearful, ignorant little man. But I do wonder. How can they?
He's finally acknowledging it, everyone.
Flip it.
You gotta look in the mirror sometimes. But how and can they get to that lineup or approximates of some of the lineups we saw last night? Can they be on the floor for some stretches of those games? Or what does the closest version of that look like with those two in tow? Because to me, it's a balance. I think we've seen the other version of Denver sans the star power, the firepower, and believe me, after 82 games of that, we would probably be clamoring for Murray and Porter.
Totally.
So what's the balance? And for me, that's what these remaining games are about. Is like, what is the rotation that includes Murray and Porter, but gets you stretches of those lineups that kind of play?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, to me, I look at this as Denver has all of the ingredients to win the ultimate prize. They have different ways to attack you. They are able to, if willing, and I choose to look at this the way that Malone is managing this team, is that he's legitimately looking for things that work, not just night to night, like one night, but like he'll like let them play out. And now he's like, okay, now I know I have this if I have to have this kind of lineup. When I have Murray is out, like, I know I can rely on this, and that this is a different style of play. Like, it's just, like they say in boxing, it's like styles make fights. And it's, if you can switch your style up, which the Nuggets have, like, pretty dramatically over the past 3 games, like, they played against the Wizards, they just went inside. They scored 98 points in the paint. Like, this game last night, they were like, okay, we're just going to we're going to get everybody slashing. We're going to get a lot of crazy passes going. We're just going to leave you on your heels. You don't quite know where it's coming from, but they are able to sort of like figure out what the best way to attack their opponent is. And I'm just hoping that, that Michael Malone is and the coaching staff is like taking note of this. It's not just we play with what is available to us. It's like, okay, cool. Like, this is another weapon that we have when the time calls for it.
Yeah.
I love it. And then the last part I have here for my hot take is Christian Brown, I just think needs to be a lock in the rotation. And I think it works. Like, I would love to experiment when everybody's back. By the way, kind of get the sense everybody's back Friday. We'll see. We'll see. I think it could be a really cool Friday night at Ball Arena.
Yeah, everybody's going to be back Friday.
Could be a really cool night at the DNVR Bar. Just saying. I kind of like the idea of Bruce Brown and Christian Brown being the substitution for KCP and MPJ.
Yep.
And then you give that bench that you had last night, you give them MPJ as a second floor spacer. You give them KCP again as a floor spacer and defender. And then I like the Zeke and Jeff Green combo, but whatever. Like, we'll figure out what the rest of those pieces are. To me, I like that as a second unit, and I like Christian Brown playing with Jokić and Bruce Brown. I just think that is, like, Denver has a rotation that I'm excited to see, and I actually think we might be there.
Here's a stat for you. The Nuggets are 5-1 when DeAndre Jordan does not play.
That's wild.
And the one loss is a 1-point loss to Dallas.
Yeah, man. Like, we
Without guys, right?
That was one, I think.
I share your feeling, Adam. I've been very impressed with the moves that Calvin Booth has made, with one very big exception.
Who is it?
DeAndre Jordan.
Well, as I told you in the Slack.
Right? All the same, that's ultimately his call.
Sure.
Like, and not only that, like, that was the very first move they made. They lined up outside of Walmart on Black Friday to make sure they got DeAndre Jordan immediately.
It wasn't.
It actually wasn't that.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Whatever the case, that's how it came out.
But
that news hit first.
Okay.
It did. It was unfortunately the first piece of news to drop.
The Avalanche hockey parade throughout the city for a Stanley Cup was the reason why it was the first.
I love the statute of limitations being lifted to like let these little kernels go. I think
I think I've written that before.
DeAndre Jordan does bring vibes, though, man. Like, and I know this is a dumb thing. If he really was here to be the 15th guy, I actually think there's something to it. Like, that guy is like such a character.
I kind of think that may have been the goal.
I think that was
signing.
the plan.
I don't think the plan was for him to maybe play as much as he has.
Can we get a vibes guy that can also play?
I mean, he can play.
Can he?
He can put on a jersey.
He can play. I actually don't think he's been that bad this year, man. I think it just disrupts what we wanted to.
It has,
towards.
and like I've instituted a new law while watching that I'm hoping all of the Nuggets adhere to. The law is don't pass to DeAndre Jordan. He probably won't catch it, or he'll make some egregious
You
error.
really don't like DeAndre.
I'm so deeply out on DeAndre
didn't
Jordan.
realize
I'm
that.
out completely.
I'm
I think
Man, I
completely
kind of like
100%
him.
out.
I just
think
don't
really
like him playing.
It'll
I
be
just
a
like
lot easier
Oh,
to
yeah.
stomach if when Malone really did frame it at the start of the season as this will be a little matchup dependent. There are games that will call for DeAndre. There are games that will call for Zeke. All right, well, that's fine, but then he didn't actually do that.
Right.
If that's how they do it moving forward, that's a little more tenable. But it's just that Zeke has to actually play in the Zeke games.
Yeah, DJ is great for chemistry.
But remember
Absolutely.
Mike Miller, he's in the Mike Miller role to me, which was, remember Mike Miller filled in like 5 games that year and was awesome?
yeah, that was 5 games.
But I think that's what,
Not
I think
not
that's what he's-
25.
That was the plan.
I think that's what it was. It's like we got the vet in here, and he's Jeff's friend, and he really does pick the team. Like that guy is
Yeah.
always in a great mood, man. And you just need a veteran that's like that. And I'm sure that they'll have these moments throughout the year where he sits a guy down and is like, "Hey, man." Like he does that role. But when he's playing in front of some of the guys you're wanting,
Yeah.
it gets a little frustrating. But I also don't think he is as much of an anchor. Like that second unit has looked bad in every iteration of
This is
itself.
true. This is true.
This is why when people are like, Bones is ruining it. Guys, we saw them without Bones for 2 weeks. They couldn't score. Like we've seen this look bad for a long time with every iteration of things. They've got to figure it out. I don't put it all in him.
DeAndre Jordan's been awful for 3 years. It's like we don't have to like find the numbers that make him look good to just try to convince ourselves that he is.
But every contender has a Jared Dudley. They have Udonis Haslem is somehow still on a roster. Andre Iguodala is still on a roster somehow. He's like 65. Like every team has this guy that's like, can they play? Yeah. And if they play for a week, it's like, all right. I actually think Vlatko is even this guy. Like some people I know last night were like, they can't play Vlatko this or that. And I'm like, I actually feel fine with Vlatko filling in for someone. I don't necessarily love him being above guys, but he can fill a variety of roles. So I don't know. The more important point is I do think the Nuggets are moving rapidly towards the right type of guys. Christian Brown signals that, and it gives me a little bit of hope for Peyton Watson, even though I haven't watched him even in the G League this or that.
I've watched him.
But I'm just saying the athletic, long defensive player to me is like, you know what? You don't have to be that good at everything if you're good at those
completely
things.
agree. Completely agree. I feel like we could get a different guy that fits that very loose set of attributes.
Like JaVale
McGee, fine, whatever. Mason Plumlee, I don't care. Like
Mason Plumlee's too expensive though. You have to remember. Here's another thing you have to understand. It's a veteran minimum because if they would have even signed Andre Drummond signed for like $3.2 million, and had they done that, they wouldn't have been able to sign Bruce Brown.
You're talking about like Robin Lopez.
I think they could have gotten Robin Lopez was the guy that everybody wanted.
That would have been
He's
great.
a vibes guy too. But
Andre Drummond probably available via trade.
Would he make us? Would he make the Nuggets?
What? What do you mean? Come on.
I don't know. I'm out on Drummond too. He's a big lunk.
I mean, if the current option is DeAndre Jordan, I'm not as out.
Andre
as you
Drummond's
guys
way
are.
better than.
I mean, get
DeAndre
Boogie.
Jordan.
Just get Boogie, please.
the opposite.
Please get Boogie.
The opposite, but there. All right. You guys have any hot takes? I want to hear some hot takes.
Oh man, all my takes are so nuanced right now, man.
No.
50 Shades of Hot Takes.
Hot box and hot take.
I'll tell you. I believe that the Denver Nuggets have shown me enough to buy fully back in on the idea that they're going to win the championship.
Use promo code DNVR at every dispensary.
I have seen what I need to see from this team. Here's what I need to see from this team. I need to see a superstar that is unguardable and unstoppable.
Check.
I need to see a running mate that can pick up the slack if that superstar gets doubled too much.
Aaron Gordon.
Listen, it's not, but I've seen Jamal Murray fill that. I've also seen Michael Porter Jr. fill that, like scoring wise. And yes, also Aaron Gordon. Like I just need to see the Chris Middleton to Giannis Antetokounmpo, like the guy that if for whatever reason your guy's only scoring 40, like can win a game for you. And I still think Jamal Murray is that guy. And I need to be able to see you turn on the defensive pressure when the situation calls for it, that it truly is an effort thing. It's not just schematic and it's not personnel. It really is just want to. And I've seen this. And I've also seen that the rest of the NBA is not particularly impressive.
They're in the same boat as Denver.
They're in the same boat as Denver. So I am very comfortable hitching my emotional wagon onto the Denver Nuggets. Will they win? Every team, no teams win. No, your teams don't win. One team wins, and it's usually the same team from last year. That's how it goddamn works. But the point is it's at least worth the emotional investment that we have all put forth. The Denver Nuggets are rounding into the form that I always dreamed they could have and be, and it just with Jokic, all things are possible.
So true, man. So true. Do you have a hot box hot take?
Oh man, I got a lot. Christian Brown.
We did that one.
Is the best
player on the
guard
Nuggets.
defender of the Jokic era.
Wow, that one. I'm not ready to go there, but I hope it's true.
Who is?
I mean,
Gary
right now we
Harris?
have Gary Harris and KCP.
You're trying to
Christian
temper a man's
Christian
hot
Brown's
box.
That's
hot
true.
take?
Actually, you know what? Turn
Christian
it out.
Brown-
Pass that over here. Look
Christian
at
Brown
Hold on. My bad.
is a rookie.
Roll those with
And I
take
think he's
pass.
already a better defender than either of those guys.
Okay.
Nikola Jokic is going to have more of a slam dunk case for MVP this year than he's ever had.
This is the best one.
Just from his MVP profile, it's going to look more convincing than it has the last 2 years. And a big reason why is the Nuggets might just win the West.
Oh my
and
God.
I don't know. A lot of people think the MVP should go to the best player on the best team.
Let's do it.
That might be Nikola Jokic. Those are my two big ones.
I love that. That last one, though, man. It's hilarious how much that narrative has picked up steam. AJ, man.
Oh, I've got one. Aaron Gordon is an all-star.
Oh, one pepper
I
take.
tweeted that out an
I
hour
don't think
ago.
now in reality, I don't think he's going to get those votes.
He's the Andrew Wiggins
He
All-Star
is-
this year.
He is the Andrew
Well,
Wiggins All-Star, and there's a lot
You hear
to
this,
that.
Nuggets Nation? It's time to mobilize.
There's a lot to that. It's look, his statistically,
Serbia's gotta get behind it.
yes.
Serbia.
and
Serbia
they might,
loves Aaron
and they
Gordon.
might. The statistical
He's
case,
half Serbian. Did you know that?
but it's a lot like the Wiggins thing, where obviously he got a bump that was maybe a little silly in the voting, but you watch him play and you go, "Oh, this is winning basketball on a winning team."
And in the end, he got the last laugh. I was absolutely Golden State fans should be ashamed of themselves. They made a mockery of the goddamn All-Star game, and then Andrew Wiggins was the MVP of the finals.
So
He didn't win it,
good
but
in
he
the
was.
playoffs. And I wrote this in the grades last night. We said it on the shows last night. Gordon was Orlando Gordon for 2 games in that series, and it was a disaster. And then he looked across the aisle. He saw what Andrew Wiggins was doing, and in my opinion, he's been playing that way ever since.
I love this.
And
It's a great take.
to me, Aaron Gordon is playing winning basketball. He's playing all-star basketball.
I think it's a phenomenal take. I don't know if he'll get there. I will say this.
I don't
When a
think he'll
team
get
is
there.
the 1 seed, though, you get it.
That's it. That's
Honestly,
the
when
path.
you're a 1
Yep.
seed, everyone's like, well, I don't know. They're a 1 seed. Do they deserve 2 All-Stars?
Well, it's funny. I saw a tweet when I was driving in here that somebody said it was like an anonymous Eastern Conference executive. Maybe it's Brad Stevens. The quote was, "If Boston is the 1 seed, the Celtics are going to get 3 All-Stars."
Oh, it will actually be great. I want AG to get his due, but like the dunk contest, it'd be great if Boston number 1 seed, 3 All-Stars, Denver number 1 seed, 1 All-Star, with nobody else getting close. It'd be
Right.
you know what?
Yeah.
Who's
That's what's gonna happen.
who's the third All-Star out there? Peyton Pritchard?
Let's take a break,
Probably
guys. Let's take a break.
Marcus
But first,
Smart,
while we're at
the
break,
unrightful
please pull
Defensive
up
Player of the
that
Year.
beautiful advertisement for our party bus, the twofer, Kale. Show them all the twofer.
Twofer.
Guys, at DraftKings Sportsbook right now, the NBA is in full swing, obviously. We're winning money every night on
dude.
the pregame lounge. Just
Swimming
if you're
in
not listening, you're just getting poorer.
Oh, dude.
Everyone's excited about the gifts, the holiday spirit this time of year. But what about basketball? When I throw down on NBA action, it's got to be with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. New customers right now can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NBA team to win their game. Get $150 in free bets if they do. You can also take advantage of same game parlays, combine multiple bets for an even bigger payout. They've got the stepped up same game parlay going. I think the more legs you add, the bigger profit boost you get. You add 10 legs, 100% profit boost. Download the app now to get in on the holiday hoops action. Sign up with code DNVR. Place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win. Get $150 in free bets if they do. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code DNVR. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. Also, check out pinsandaces.com. Pins and Aces, they've got awesome golf polos. They've got hats, golf bags. They've got the beer sleeve.
Oh.
You know the deal.
7
beers, cold for the entire round, in one sleeve, in your golf bag.
Seventh heaven.
Is
Innovative technology, the first of its kind.
You know what that is in basketball terms?
What?
6-pack and one.
Oh.
That's mad.
Pinsandaces.com. Use the code DNVR. Get 15% off your first order and get free shipping. Pinsandaces.com.
Are we back?
We are back.
We're back.
We bake.
All right, we are
We're
back.
so back.
All right, guys. Third and final segment. We do have some super chats, Kale. Why don't we get into some of these super chats? I know everybody was
Super
buying
chats,
these.
dude, the homies are in.
Dude, they're
they're
feeling
here
it, man.
today.
The
Kendrick
vibes are so
Perkins,
good.
our guys, backing on Jokic. By the way.
Of course, well,
I'll
that's
give it
today.
a week.
All right, hearing the Nuggets will have a top 10 defense post December 15th. I love it. You know what?
God, I'm so
You know what?
I'm so baked
Hey,
right now.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, that's a
Hold
hot
on.
box.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no, no,
stoned out
no,
of
no,
my
no, no, no,
mind.
no. I'm in. I'm in.
I know. I'm
Hey,
baked as
Eric, AJ.
AJ.
all things are possible
A-OK.
after
any-
BJ.
You know, we're gonna have to come up with a stat with like no NBA championship has ever won with a top 10 defense
AJ.
post AJ. Yeah. Who cares what happens
After
before
Jokić.
that? After Jokić. All right, what else we got? Petition for DNVR crew to wear suits on the show.
Petition denied.
Thank you for the money.
No chance. Absolutely no chance. The Great Brow says, "Sup, boys? Back in Wichita, Kansas.
Glad to hear you're back, Browse,
Hell
after
yeah,
the
man.
epic trip out here.
Dude, hell yeah.
Brow's looking good
Glad
as
to hear
ever.
you made it back.
Love it. Svetislav says,
One for the CB. Can't wait for that trash talk.
I know.
Yo, it's coming.
We're one
It's
step
bubbling.
closer.
yo,
We're one game away.
he doesn't want to, I'm telling you, he doesn't want to get kicked out of the rotation.
I
And he
know.
knows like anything, but it's like,
I
dude, his like frat boy is bubbling at the,
I'm
bursting at the seams.
I went home last night after the game and I was so emotionally drained that I fell asleep. I told them while watching a volcano tragedy documentary, and it was
Wait,
the.
what?
Please allow me. Have I ever led you astray?
Land this plane, Eric.
I'll land this one.
All of the tourists went to this volcano and it was just bubbling. It was simmering and they didn't
Okay, yeah.
expect it. And then suddenly, when you least expected, they were all burned horribly. Anyway, that's what's going to happen with Christian Brown, dude. He's going to erupt with trash talk. He's going to burn the NBA.
Okay.
It's going to be fantastic. It's been dormant for far too long. We know it's there.
Yeah.
We've heard tale. And I can't wait to see it. And I can't wait to finish that volcano tragedy
gonna have to ride
documentary when I get home.
The hot hand of the stroking uncle until CB explodes. Is that what I'm hearing over here?
I'm going to the buff. shop.
Mahilo, what do we have? Mahilo says, would you like to have Plumlee back on the team, and what would it take? I mean, yeah, but I don't think that's happening. By the way, also, the last game, against Charlotte, you look a little pissed at Plumlee.
Oh, was
Really?
it the Anthony Davis 3-pointer?
What?
Do you think he just remembered Mason Plumlee
Yeah, that would be
not
funny.
playing
No,
defense with
no.
a championship on the
Yeah,
line?
actually, you know what would be
It's
funny?
not that,
It would.
but-
It wasn't that, but it would be hilarious if he held a grudge. No,
That's
I think
why I hold a
Plumlee
grudge.
got a little physical with him, and that when Yoke
Yeah.
got a tech, it was because of that. And then he was like, had said something to Plumlee as he was walking back. That he was something like "F, dude, what the F" or something like that. Like he was
He's
so
like,
pissed.
et tu, Plumlee. You also scratched the hell out of my arms.
I know. He's like, you know what Yoke hates?
Yeah.
Scratches all over the
Yeah,
arms.
I mean,
Skin
Plumlee
porcelain.
knew that's how to get
And then,
to him.
and then also he fouled out in 4 minutes. Like, it was just like old times.
This is a great one. This is a great
Rockabot says, "Is People's Champ thrills?"
or can we elect Bones as People's Champ and then AG as Mr.
Oh
Nugget?
man.
Oh man, that's tough. Thrill brought People's Champ with him.
He was
Right.
yeah, that
But
happened
he
in
and Bones have a
Portland.
connection. It's a vacant title.
Well, it's not a
That's-
title; it's a
that's-
nickname.
yeah.
That's like saying that
We're
there's
trying
always.
so hard. We're trying so hard to build caveats here. Look,
I think it's AG. I'm just going to say it.
we'll find out. We'll find out. We'll find out what happens. All right, we got some mailbag. Oh, we have another. People are super chatting. Oh my God, our Warriors friend William says, "Appreciate the Memphis beatdown. Only thing I could be happy about sports-wise. Dude,
Yeah.
you know what?
We beat Memphis and we did not break the code.
We didn't break the code. Williams, we love and appreciate that you're here. My buddy Sam Esfandiari, I talk to that guy a lot these days. That guy is so miserable, and I'm like, bro, you have the funnest team of a generation.
It was a good decade.
And you're the reigning NBA champs.
Yeah, miss
The last
me with
one.
the depression, Warriors.
It's not even the
fans.
depression.
It's what it is, dude. It's
the
just what
panic.
it is.
I'm telling you, we're the Nuggets are going to win 5 consecutive championships and get off to an 0-2 start. And we're going to be like, what the hell, guys? Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, you can't win a championship with this defense.
Jokic doesn't want to be
He
here.
doesn't want to, like, yeah. I'm telling you, like, again, listen from the outside. Are the problems with the Warriors like they feel
Yes.
real? They feel heavy, all of these things. But you know one team that I'm just not going to worry about until the final freaking moment is the goddamn Golden State Warriors. So much so that you're on that side of the fence, and I'm over here going, Nuggets 1 seed. Oh, shit. Is it going to be the Warriors in a 1-8 matchup? Like, god damn it, man. Is that how this thing shakes out for us?
Man.
So if so, so be it. Whatever.
Thank you, though,
Whatever.
William.
Yeah, we love it. All right, let's
Yeah,
get to a
appreciate
couple
you,
here
man.
real quickly. Do we have the mailbag questions, or I got to pull these up?
Kale has them, and so I'll read them for you if you want.
Oh, they're on the sheet, aren't they?
Do you think after this Memphis win that the Nuggets have turned a corner? It felt the most professional that they've looked after a season of
I like that
sleepwalking
word.
on the defense
Well, that's
Jokic's suit.
that's Jokic's
Yeah.
suit.
and
Yes.
never
Yeah.
figuring it out for more than short stretches.
Actually, let me say it's not just Jokic's suit. Let me say one thing. What do I always complain about the Nuggets? Do the other teams feel you? I think the Grizzlies freaking felt the
From the
Nuggets
jump.
last night from the jump and never let up. And that's the difference. We've seen the Nuggets beat you in the way where it's like easy. Last night, the Grizzlies were like dejected in some way. I'm impressed with the Grizzlies because that's a tough team. By the way, you'll like this anecdote. There are some teams, people don't know this. There's 29 teams that visit Ball Arena. There's maybe 4 or 5 per year that turn the music up so loud that you can hear it in the media
Oh,
area.
sure, yeah.
Memphis is 1,000% one of those teams.
That's not
That
surprising.
music bumped from 2 hours before opening tip all the way up until tip, where they put that music so loud that Michael Malone could barely do his presser.
Oh
He was
my
like had to
God.
scream. Are you at all surprised that Memphis is one of the
course
teams
it's
that's
Memphis.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Man. That's,
They've
Least
got that
surprising
dog.
thing of all
that's
time.
so Memphis.
We were talking before about like Memphis is like one game away from showing us their post-game dog barking working out videos. Like they're
Like
in
the Suns?
Yeah,
But
they're
the
like
Suns are fake though.
that's my point. They have achieved that. Like they are too braggadocious for how good that they are.
You
The
think?
Memphis Grizzlies. Yes, I do think this. I think that they have outgrown their actual abilities.
Here's what I'll say. Phoenix Suns' bark, Phoenix Suns' bite. I think Memphis' bite might not be all the way up there, but it's not.
Dude, Phoenix
it's
is
not
way
down here, man.
Last year, Phoenix is way better than Memphis is this year, and they are trending in that direction of like, bro, you have not been here. Like you don't deserve this.
But
yet.
I'm saying they were never really about it, is my point. Like even Jay Crowder, Yoke, like got in his face one time and he wilted. I'm just saying, like Memphis to me is actually about. They have the guys that are actually about it.
I see
You
one.
don't think so?
I see one more choreographed dance into an arena in the middle of the.
This is a great- actually, you know what? You
that
sold
then
me.
yes, that then the
Get
jump
off our
field-
lawn.
No, dude.
Are
like,
there any
earn
real
your
teams
spot
that
on the
are
fucking
actually
lawn?
about
No, I'm with
that?
you though. Dude, I
Earn your spot. Like realize what you're involved. You can't vibe your way to an NBA championship, and you're going to look stupid later on when you get clowned.
I was with Eric on this before it was even appropriate. They were fun and everyone loved them, and I got cranky about it.
Yeah,
so I'm
dude.
with you, man.
I just think they're an actual tough team. Like
They
I
are,
think they have
though.
players on there that are actual like dogs. Have that dog in them.
I'm
In a way that I never felt that way about Phoenix.
guys
Like I
see
don't
the-
think that
the
what's
Phoenix
the
video?
guy you hate, the point guard.
Chris Paul.
No, the other one. The backup. What's his name? How come I can't
Oh,
think? Campaign.
Campaign.
Campaign talks so much trash, and I don't think he's actually. a
Oh,
dog.
dude, he's like,
you know what I
oh,
mean?
he's
He
like,
has negative dog.
But I
clear,
think-
yeah, clear the way. A sideways jumper incoming.
I think Ja and Dylan Brooks and like Steven Adams, those guys I think are actually ready for the
Dude,
street
Dylan
fight.
Brooks is an all-time fake.
Dude, no way, man. I gotta say this. Last night, that guy turned the defense up on Bones in a way that I was so impressed with. And
Bones,
huh?
on Bones.
Well, okay. I'm not saying these guys are actually gonna fight, man. I'm just saying, are they up for the tension? Like, oh.
Sure.
And Dylan Brooks was like, you know what? F it. I'm gonna make this guy have a miserable night, and he did it by getting into his chili as Hastings says. But I
Yeah.
will say this: Michael Malone and the Nuggets did a very smart thing. Dylan Brooks all over Bones in this game. They started running Bones around the court
Yeah,
off
yeah.
of screens, and guess what? Dylan Brooks airballed a wide open three
Yes,
in
he
the fourth
did.
quarter
He
of
was
that
tired,
game.
yeah.
And I think he was tired from chasing Bones away.
good
So it
point.
wasn't a wholly lost game for Bones, even though he was off.
That guy is a first team all horseshit shot taker.
Oh yeah, man. He is.
He's
Yeah.
a dog, though.
If you
man.
could have somebody
is.
just play one end of the floor and not play the other, it'd be him.
He's a great defender, man. The
He
way
really
he
is.
guarded Bones,
Oh, he's
like,
a-
because he is a
he's- yeah.
thick-bodied dude, and he was like as quick as Bones. I was very impressed with Dylan Brooks, and he's also just like every loose ball, little punch, just
Yeah,
like he
yeah,
just
yeah.
like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Those guys make you feel.
And
Like,
I mean,
Danny-
somebody I've compared like Christian Brown's defensive
yep.
upside to is Dylan Brooks.
you need a guy that knocks the ball out of the other guy's hand every dead
Yeah.
ball, just
Right.
because.
Just to be
Why?
a dick.
an asshole.
Why?
Just to be a dick about it.
Just to be
an
Russell
asshole.
Westbrook.
Yeah.
Danny, yes, no, you're right. Like they can be braggadocious as they want, but like I'm telling you, like you better be that. You better be that if you're going to be that. Like
Yeah, this is not a morality thing where you're saying that. You're just saying like they're going to talk the talk.
you
and
better
walk
walk this goddamn walk
Yeah.
because we've seen this time and time again. We saw this. They were all about it last year, and then the Warriors absolutely clowned them. They looked like idiots.
The Sun? Oh, wait, who?
The Grizzlies.
Oh, the Grizzlies.
They got sunned so hard in the playoffs, and it stopped it on a dime. We got the John Morant was tough, and then he was like saying like, "Oh, he broke the code," and it's like, "All right, bro, like
Right,
calm
right.
down."
That
Like,
was Steve Kerr. But
That was Steve Curry. Yeah, you got that reverse. Whatever, doesn't matter. All right, what else we got?
whatever.
I can't read, guys.
Oh, I got you. Should last night's success using Jokic? This one comes to us from Tommy B. Buckets. Bones, Nugs, and Harmony.
You're not using the ones I put in the sheet there, Cal. Let's-
Oh, I sent Kale.
Oh, you
so,
sent him different
yeah,
ones?
that's my bad.
Oh, we
bro.
always use the sheet for the rundown here.
oh boy, oh boy.
Because we answered that
boy.
one earlier.
Should we just do it live?
Yeah, we'll just do it live because we only have a couple minutes here.
Finally doing it live. What the
I'm
fella?
sorry.
Alejandro
Kale.
Jimenez says, is the upcoming Western Conference playoff team schedule the Nuggets are currently on going to determine if the team is a pretender or a contender? This stretch, the Nuggets are going through the gamut or the gauntlet?
Gauntlet.
It could be either. The gauntlet is.
I always screw this up.
I
the
mean,
gauntlet.
a gambit is like a bunch of difficult tasks in a row. A gauntlet is like a hallway with like people.
They're going through a gambit of gauntlets right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gauntlet works.
Either one you want. Do you think that this is going to determine whether or not they are real or fake?
For me, probably, yeah. And it's going to have a lot to do with the defense. Like, if they defend, I'm not expecting them to defend over these next 9 games like they did last night in every single game. But, I mean, if they have a couple more games like this against the Portland, against the Phoenix, against a Cleveland, who they have at the tail end of this 10-game stretch, if they go into Sacramento in those back-to-back games and just flash some of the similar defensive qualities that they did last night, I'm going to start believing. Absolutely. If the defense over this next 9 games reverts back to where it was for this entire season, I'm not going to probably believe in this team. I think it's a huge stretch, massive stretch for me.
Totally. I was joking with some people at shoot around. Yeah, to some extent we'd be surprised, but would you be shocked if the Nuggets played their best defense of the season over arguably the toughest stretch in terms of strength? Because as much as this team plays down, they sure do play up. So I would love for them to just be the evolved buzzsaw version of
the
themselves.
Celtics, too.
That's going to get them every single night. Both sides, just the team you don't want to play. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're a play down team. But if they can play up just as well, right? If they can bring their best defense, show the best intensity, look great against the good teams, you have just as much reason, I think, to hop back on.
I will say also, I know I've been harping on the defensive numbers all season. I've been tweeting out after every game, they're 28th in defense, they're 27th in defense, they're back to 28th. After last night, I am way less concerned about the overall numbers season-wide on defense than I was before last night.
Yep.
Because they did it
Exactly.
for close to 48 minutes
Yep.
against a really good team. And they haven't up until last night.
That's exactly it.
And so now, if they go forward and they finish the season 20th in defense, I'm not as concerned. I know they can turn it up for the competition. I know they can.
Exactly. They have showed us, again, it's not schematic and it's not personnel. It is want to. And if they want to, they can do it. And should we be concerned that they don't want to sometimes in January? Like, It sucks because we watch them every game, but like this team has a larger goal. They have a larger aspiration, and like it's annoying, but like it doesn't mean that they're not capable, and they are capable. They are capable. So
you said it's not personnel, but last night part of the story was personnel.
Well, I mean to say that they don't. They have it on the roster.
Yeah. Nolan Rogers asked, did we overhype Bruce Brown to begin the season a bit? I love him, but some of the little things he does are frustrating. I wanted to take this one because I thought last night was a phenomenal Bruce Brown game.
Great.
And here's the thing. Where did he play last night?
Point guard.
Point guard, actually, but guard. And in particular, I actually think Bruce Brown's best position defensively is point guard.
So does he.
And so, like, I think that last night, him being in his rightful role, guess what? He blocked John Morant once last night. Like, he made big time plays. So, again, the same was true of Will Barton last year. And by the way, Will Barton this year, he's a shooting guard playing small forward in Denver. He played small forward in Washington now. I do think there's just something, too. Sometimes guys are just in the wrong role, man.
Yep.
Not everybody is a switchable 1 through 5.
I think Bruce Brown's awesome when he's in his right role. And I think he's going to be a game changer in the playoffs.
Me
I
too.
do.
This is every season. There's some guy that's completely out of his role that we
And
talk
usually
about.
it's a guy playing small forward.
Will Barton, it's AG, it's Bruce Brown, and then you're like, why don't they look good? You're like, because they're not like it's just the same thing.
Bruce Brown's going to have a half in the playoffs where he just D's up John Morant or Steph or Dame Lillard, and we're going to be like, my God, this guy's incredible.
The other thing, too, is he's a top-end role player that came to, at least seemingly at the time, and maybe still, a contender, a piece like him away. And when that happens, we understandably get very excited about the best version of what he can provide this team, filling the holes they didn't have. And that's reasonable. But then the other thing you have to remember about any top-end role player is that they're not a star. Right. And throughout a year, you're going to see, well, wait a second, this feels a little incongruent with the hype that we felt that those 2 weeks when they signed him. But I feel good about Bruce on this roster.
Dude, how could you not?
Yeah.
He's great.
By the way, I feel the same way about Bones. I think Bones is in this right now where he's kind of
Bones is going through it right now.
But he's going through it in part because the bad parts of his game are the things that are being asked of him, and the good parts of his game are not getting to shine through. I honestly don't think – I know some people are so frustrated and blaming this or that. I think there's better Bones ahead. Yeah. I just think there's better Bones.
Just Bruce, stop taking floaters.
Last one, you can start that outro music there, Kale. I wanted to get to the last
Everyone
one
but
here.
Jokic in
Williams,
the NBA.
too, the homie says – should the Nuggets have taken a slower approach with Jamal Murray this season? I think it was good to see him get some rest finally. Talking to our friend Ryan Blackburn last night, he really thinks this. He's looking at the minute totals for Murray over the last 10 games, and he's like, dude, he was sick. He comes back, and he immediately goes to 35 minutes a night with 0 days off. Finally gets one. Denver looks good. I do think it gives Michael Malone maybe the confidence to play him a little bit slow. Look, the Nuggets needed to exhale, and these last 2 games to me represent an exhale.
Very much.
So maybe it allows you to rest him a little bit more and pick your spots, this or that. As far as the slower approach, I do think that it's time. So maybe you can rest a little bit. Maybe the minutes you can trust the team to carry if he does a shorter minute total. But at the same time, Murray has looked good enough this year that I think it's like start building from that to get. We're not that far away from the play. Yes, we're not halfway there.
I don't think so though, because he just missed a game with a sore knee.
But again, he played 10 games in a row.
Maybe he shouldn't have though.
I know that. Yeah. I'm agreeing with that. But I'm saying, so yes, you can rest him more, but at the same time, it's also time for him to start building towards what he used to be and what he can be now.
I'm with Ryan and
William
and with you. Like, it's been crazy how many minutes he's been playing. 35 minutes a night. That's wild. Like, you have Ish Smith, you have Bones, you have Bruce Brown. All of them can play point guard. And like, you don't want Murray missing games because he played through a sore knee. It's ridiculous to me.
I'm generally with you. I would say and I don't know if this changes your bottom line. Just the one layer I don't know. Listening to Jamal and Malone talk about the Charlotte game, to what extent is this Jamal asking for, insisting on, I would like to play these many minutes.
That's all it is.
I would like to play through this.
Yeah.
And look, maybe there's a lot to that. You know what? Because there are a lot of questions today too of should Jamal come off the bench, and it's, listen, man, if this team competes for a title, Jamal is starting. So let's rip that Band-Aid off. You know what I mean? But I'm saying if you follow that kind of train of logic, you can apply it to his minutes as well to some extent, I think.
I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying 35 minutes that knee.
We got to wrap up. We went a little bit long today, 5 minutes long, and we appreciate it. There was lots of stuff to talk to, and guess what? It's so much more fun. Every segment today is like optimistic and fun and excitement. And I really do feel like, AJ, we've been injected with the spirit of Yokmas and the season for the first time.
I'm feeling the spirit.
No more BJ.
We are 6 days into the AJ period, and I'm telling you, fellas, it's been good. AJ, baby. Nuggets, AJ. Everybody, hit that like button on the way out. Don't forget to join us January 15th. You can hop on the website right now and purchase your tickets. Two for $200. Come join us, man.
Yeah, we're going to go enjoy AJ. Hot box and hot takes.
What?
A joint.
Hey, AJ. I got it. Goodbye, everybody.
I get it. Nice.
You guys are dipshits.